Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about masculine men don't chase, they disappear. So one of the main things that I want to talk about today is what it means to be a masculine man, okay? Because it sounds a bit silly because all men are masculine. Okay, that's the whole point. That's where that word came from, right? Masculinity. But there are some men who have more of a stronger masculine essence, shall we say, than others. And there's a lot of reasons why that could be. So, for example, let's say there is just a man who is more feminine, right? And feminine in his features, feminine in the way that he moves, in the way that he acts, and in his vibe. You often get men like that, and it can be mostly seen, I believe, in men who are gay, right? So you'll see men who are extremely feminine. They sound feminine. They walk very femininely, and it's often dramatically displayed in men who are gay. It can also happen to guys who are straight as well, and they just happen to have more of a feminine personality. Oh, look, the magical pussycat is here. Remember, if you see the magical pussycat in my videos, it means you're going to get pussy real soon. Anyway, but sometimes men who are naturally masculine can lose their masculine essence more due to the way that they've been brought up. So, for example, if they didn't have a good relationship with their parents, or they just had a person in their life, a predominant person in their life who would beat them down all the time, it can affect that man's masculinity and his masculine behavior as he grows up. It could be influences too. So, for example, in terms of women, if you watch a lot of romantic comedies growing up, and you thought that being and just basically just following those storylines would be a way to attract women, like, for example, being her friend first, and you thought that would be the best route into her heart, because that's what it said in this movie. If you were overly romantic and did big romantic gestures like writing love letters, that would somehow win a woman's heart over, things like that. And doing those things, but those things are very, very feminine things, okay? So therefore, that guy who is actually truly masculine, it didn't work out because the things that he'd been influenced by had made him more feminine, you see, okay? And made him, and basically what this all comes down to when in terms of women is you've got to be more masculine than her, especially if she's a feminine woman looking for a masculine man. You need to be less feminine than what she is. You need to be more masculine than she is in order for there to be any kind of attraction. Because she may look at you and think, oh yeah, he's good looking, I'd love to go on a date with him. But then she starts talking to you, she notices your vibe and the way that you say things and the way that you do things, and she'll notice, oh, actually, I'm not really that into him. And it's all because he's displaying feminine behavior and he's not displaying masculine behavior. And with men and women especially, there's that polarity. That polarity has to be there. The feminine one and the masculine one. And usually that is the woman and the man. Now, of course, you can get the opposite of that, where a woman who is very masculine is with a feminine man and the attraction is still there. But you got to look into who you really are as a person and think, okay, so what are the women in my life that I've been really attracted to in the past? Who have I fell really deeply for? And if you're a masculine guy, then the women that you fell for in the past have been very feminine, beautiful women, okay? Especially women that have a very soft, sweet nature, and they're just very, very, very in their feminine, okay? And they just seem like this really nurturing, really sweet, really lovely women. And that is a very, very feminine woman. So therefore, your essence is masculinity. So if you are worried and like thinking, well, I've been putting all of these women off, the women that I like. So what can I do? How can I become more masculine? So there's only, from my point of view as a woman, there's only so much that I can teach you about this. But as someone who believes that they're a tiny little bit more on the masculine side, that's how I feel about myself, I'm a lot more masculine than most women. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm, a lesbian, right? And I'm definitely the one that's more masculine in the relationship with my wife. But even then, I'm still a woman. There's only so much masculinity I have. Okay, it's just one of those things, right? Because even though I know a little bit about it from my own personal perspective of someone who's a more masculine woman, I'm still not a guy. Okay, so and I don't want to be a guy either, just to get that clear, because some people think that as well. I get comments sometimes saying you'll never be a man even though you want to be. It's like, how do you know I want to be a man? I don't want to be a man. If I wanted to transition into a man, then I wouldn't have had my child, and being a woman is great, okay? And I don't regret my gender or anything like that. Just for those people that may be thinking that, and have said that in the past. Okay, so anyway, now they've got that over with, what can you do then, right? So one of the things that I've seen, and one of the things that I've heard as well from other men and other dating coaches here online actually as well, that one of the best ways that you can get into your masculinity and into your masculine essence is by having a calling, okay? Having a great purpose in your life that you put paramount over everything else, including the women in your life. So your calling, it has to be a great mission, right? The mission for your life, it could be a business venture, it could be a skill that you're trying to learn, it could be a certain kind of lifestyle that you're trying to achieve. It could be your career, whatever, whatever. But the point of it is that the reason I call it a calling is because it should call to you, okay? Whenever you're doing something else that isn't your calling, you should be thinking about your calling. You should be thinking about the thing that you want to do, that grand mission, okay? And when you are taking relentless action towards that mission, towards that calling, you are in your masculine at that moment in time. So if you want women to be more attracted to you and to find you more attractive, then the best thing that you can do is to have that as your sole purpose. Your sole purpose is your calling, whatever it may be, okay? And because you are so busy working on your goal and your mission, you don't have time to be relentlessly chasing down women that are not interested in you. This is why the title's called Masculine Men Don't Chase, They Disappear. Because most of the time you should be sort of gone because you're doing something that's working towards that calling in your life, and you're working on that, okay? With that being said though, another part of what it means to be a masculine man is that men who are truly masculine, men who are comfortable with their masculinity and who have grown up a little bit, become less affected by women who are not interested in them. So this goes into another reason why masculine men disappear and they don't chase. It's because when they see a woman and they start talking to a woman that has low interest, it actually puts them off. And instead of intriguing them or making them more interested, they're like, oh, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Because he knows it's going to be a lot of effort to court her, to romance her, to date her. It's going to be difficult, right? And he doesn't want anything difficult in his life because perhaps his calling in life is already quite difficult, or he's got other things in his life that are quite difficult, and he doesn't want to make romance something difficult as well. So he steers himself away from those women who are showing very, very low interest, and he's gravitated towards women who are really attracted to him. In fact, he finds women who find him attractive really attractive, okay? If he sees a beautiful woman that he finds attractive and he starts talking to her and he notices that she's showing interest back and she's showing enthusiasm back for him, it makes him like her more. Whereas when he meets a woman who he's really attracted to, but she shows low interest in him, it puts him off. So he disappears from that woman's life. And he doesn't need to chase, because he only spends his time with those women that are truly interested. So, focus on women who are interested in you, who show enthusiasm for you, and let go of every other woman who lets you go, loses interest, doesn't have any interest at all. Let them go. Okay? And focus, most of your time should be consumed with your calling in life, that great grand purpose, that great grand mission that you have for yourself. And if you do those two things, you won't need to chase women down as much, okay? Because the ones that do like you, you will gravitate towards more anyway. And the ones that don't like you, you're just going to let them go. And it's usually with the women that you have to who don't have that much interest in you, that you have to really chase down and talk to a lot and communicate with loads. Yeah, and it requires a lot of effort, and often it ends to nothing anyway, because they've got low interest, so they just disappear eventually anyways. Okay? So, if you follow those two things, you'll be good to go. Alright? So if you like more tips, and you'd like more ways on how you can attract women, then I highly recommend that you go and read my book, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. You can go and read it for free on the website, www.christineloverish.com. All you have to do is click on the menu and then go down to the book. Just click on the book. It literally is just called the book, and it'll take you straight there. You don't need to log into the website, you don't need to sign up. It's literally right there. There's just a page on the website specifically for the book, and it's just a PDF reader where you can read it straight away. You don't have to do anything, it's just right there. Okay? If you want a physical copy, you can get one on Amazon, and you can get a Kindle version on Amazon as well, but it's not necessary because everything in this is on the website. And if you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you feel like you need coaching, you need help with a specific situation, then you can also go to www.christineloverish.com and pick whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.